Well, today we're back down at G&M Auto Breakers because I bought another G82 M4. It's a 2024 plate, it's only got 8,000 miles, and it was one of the cheapest ones in the country, but there is a reason for that, which you'll find out very shortly. First time seeing the car. Wow, that is pushed in really far actually, isn't it? You know what, this hub looks like it's all right. That hub looks like it survived actually. Caliber's all right. I thought all of this was damaged, but it's not.
Crash bar's
yeah, all the crash bar's fine. The engine's like, look how much that brace has bent. It's because it's been hit so hard on that side. Yeah, so like it's pushed that over and it's bent this. But this engine looks fine. Is the oil cooler actually damaged? Because this is where they always lose the oil from. Like it's still all connected, it's just bent in it. I reckon that's still got oil in it, that. This engine only has like 8,000 miles as well, so it's worth like probably £8,000. Gearbox another £2,000, and that's them two together is almost what I paid for the full car. I don't even think the airbags have went off inside either. No, they haven't. It's just the seat airbag and the curtain airbag. I'm gonna jump in 1 minute. But you know what's funny about this car? It doesn't even have the carbon trims. Look, how does an M4 not come with carbon trim? That's crazy. It's brand new, this though. I've just put the back seats down, and inside the boot we've got 2 headlights, and this one just has broken brackets, and this one is stuck, but it's still attached to the bumper. Oh, that one's got a broken lens. It's just got a broken lens and brackets. Oh no, it's got a hole in the back. That one's toast, but this one's good. I wonder how much they're worth. 2024 Snake Eyes. It's got to be a decent bit of money. But there's really not many damaged parts in this car. The door's fine on both sides, both wing mirrors are fine. The roof's fine, the windscreen's fine. All of this front panel's all right, just except from this bottom bit. The rad pack all looks all right as well. That rad pack's fine. You know, just this like slam panel and rad pack thing, right? Them two things, they're worth about 2.5 grand, expensive. All the wheels are fine. That one's not even curbed. That other one's not curbed. And this one on the floor looks like it's not damaged either. So this is all right, and the caliper's good as well. If you haven't noticed, I am at G&M Autos, so this car is a Cat B breaker, and I don't know what I'm doing with it, to be completely honest. I'm either going to just break it and sell the parts, or we're going to reshell it into a 4 Series shell. Nonetheless, it's still a good purchase because I didn't pay very much for this car, and it's literally almost a complete car of parts. The price I paid for the car is near enough what the engine's worth alone, and it's literally got almost everything else. So if we do want to reshell it, I don't have to buy many parts. I'm just going to have to get a suspension corner, a front bumper, 2 wings, a bonnet, a rear quarter, a seat airbag and a curtain airbag. So if I take everything off this car and we want to put it into a 420i, it doesn't need much money spent on it, so I could do it for really cheap. But it's just a lot of work, and it's also repetitive because I've basically done the exact same thing with my M4. So I don't know, is it going to be boring? Like, are people even going to want to see that? But because the curtain airbags went and the seat airbags went, obviously the car's not going to start and the pyro fuses went. So the first thing I want to do is actually find out whether the engine's all right. And I also want to check if the engine's got oil in it, because the oil cooler down here is damaged. If the oil's leaked out of there, then obviously you don't want to start with no oil. So I need to get some power out of the car, so we're going to try to just jump it from the, where's the earth point there? I'm going to try boost it so I can open the boot, because I need to get to the battery. Haha, we're in. All right, let's see what's in the boot. You had CSL pinstriping on the grille.
No, that's a full CSL. I mean,
yeah, well, it's just a gloss black one.
I think it's been sideways.
Oh, they've already bridged the pyro fuse. They've already done it. So someone's already. Oh, that could be bad. That could be really bad. Oh no, that could be bad. Oh, I don't like the look of this. Oh, it's not good, that, you know.
Why?
Mate, because if it's got no oil in it, someone's already done it. Oh, why have they done that? Did it say it ran on Copart? Oh. Right, I'm going to try start it. The battery has 9.5, so when I boost it, it should start. All right, I've got the key now. I was trying to start it without the friggin' key. The car wouldn't start, so I hope the engine's all right, but we're going to try to put some fuel in it. I think it's just out of fuel, so this needs to go in there. Hopefully once I fill it up, we should just need a bit of a more battery. We don't want this one setting on fire, do we? Why has someone bridged a pyro fuse on a car that's this crashed? Like, what would they do that for? Maybe the insurance, but I'm sure they don't touch that stuff. Let me get the battery. You know how many cars this battery started? I bought it one time off this guy when I was buying some car parts. Oh, I'm not gonna. I don't have a good feeling, you know. It's not got enough battery. Yeah, here we go. What's all this? The car won't start, and I noticed that this panel under here was held in with screws under there, and there's not normally screws in there. It's normally like a plastic turn tab, so I know that this isn't original. So someone's changed that. So then I took that panel off, and then I've noticed this wiring here. If you look, that tape that's on that wiring isn't original BMW. And then there's wires down here and everything, so there's definitely something in the car. Look, yeah, look at all this. Or is that just a dash cam though? It might just be dash cam. So is all this just for a dash cam? No, it can't. There's still wiring here though. What happens when you unplug a Ghost? Yeah, look, there's something here. Yeah, this is a mobilizer, this. Yeah, there's wires cut and everything. Should I take the tape off? Look, there's wires just cut.
The mobilizer cut or miles broken.
From this impact here, I've just noticed on the ECU, this plug was unplugged, so when I plug this plug in now, in there we go, it should start now. It'll start now. We're trying to diagnose why the car won't start because we've tried so many things, but we noticed there's still a few more damaged plugs around the ECU, so we tried unplugging everything and plugging it back in. And when I ran a diagnostic on the car, there was so many errors in the engine control unit, almost as if something wasn't plugged in. This junction box was destroyed next to the ECU, so I have a spare one at my garage. I'm going to swap this out and hopefully it still runs. If it doesn't, I think it must be the immobilizer. I just want to get the engine to run before I take it apart because I want to know that the engine's actually like perfectly fine. Right. Do you have faith? Do you think that's going to work?
Low key, no.
Low key, no. You don't have faith? I've got like 50% faith. Come on, come on, come on. Start. Oh, is it dead? Mate, it might go now. If it does turn on, turn it off straight away. The audio messed up in this clip, but what I was saying was that I brought the ECU from the M4 breaker to DS Autoworks where my car was inside of the garage, and I'm going to plug this ECU into my car to see if the same errors come up on the car. Because then that'll narrow down whether it's the ECU or whether it's something else in the car. Like, obviously I'll have an error for it being the wrong ECU, but I think it should still read the faults.
What's happening? Like, is the other car not turning on?
Yeah, and it's got loads of mad faults in the ECU, so, but the ECU's took a slight, like, little ding. So I think it could be like...
Is that the ECU out of it?
Yeah. That's the one out of that car, yeah. No, it doesn't have them errors, you know.
It doesn't? So it's got to be something down.
And it's reading everything. It's reading exhaust flap, line disconnection, oxygen sensor, gear sensor.
Must be something with them cables.
Must be the wiring then. But yeah, it says ECU coding missing, ECU VIN number wrong. Oh, so the plot thickens. So I've just been at DS Autoworks to plug the ECU from the breaker car into my M4 to see if the car would actually read the ECU and read the fault codes on it, and it did. So that tells me that this ECU is probably all right and the problem must be somewhere else. I'm quite confident that the car has a ghost immobilizer in it or something, and that's why it won't start. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to strip the rest of the car. But because I couldn't get it running, I don't really want to try and reshell the car into something else because I don't know for 100% that I'm going to get the wiring loom and everything to work. So I think I'm just going to decide to sell all the parts. So in the rest of this video now, we're just going to strip the rest of the M4 and then we're going to go through all the costs associated with buying this breaker car and how much money I can actually get from selling all the parts at the end of it and whether it's worth stripping a car. But in the meantime, we're going to need to find a different project car. Second Gears is a marketplace dedicated for problem cars. So if you're buying crash damage cars or just cars with generic problems, MOT failures, anything like that, this is the place where you want to be listing your cars and also looking for cars. I don't really use the generic marketplaces anymore because the prices on them are insane. Now, I've actually been having a look on here recently, and if we go on the car marketplace, I've been wanting to find myself a Porsche. So if we filter it to Porsche and we apply the filters, you can see there's this Porsche Macan on here, which is listed at £9,990. So basically £10,000 the person wants for this car. And I've sent them a bid for £8,700, so we'll see if they accept. But this is a pretty nice car for only £8,700. You can see it's got a bit light damage to the rear bumper, a little bit to the rear quarter here we can see. But overall, it's not too bad. I've just done a quick evaluation of that car on Auto Trader, and you can see it's worth £29,000. So if I can manage to get this car for only £8,700 and it only needs that little repair on the rear end, that would be a really, really good purchase, and there'll be a good bit of profit in it at that price. So there is really good cars that you're able to buy on here, and I literally just found this today.
So if you're looking to buy any damaged cars or you have any to list for sale, make sure you're listing them and buying them on secondgears.co.uk.
Right, we can't get the engine running. I think it's because it's got a ghost immobilizer, so I've just been taking all the under trays off, and I'm going to drain the oil now just to see how much oil was actually in the engine. I'm pretty sure it's going to be full because this oil cooler doesn't really look like it's split anywhere, so hopefully the oil comes out clean and plentiful. Yeah, that's coming out loads. Yeah, that's probably full. That's how much oil came out. So that's probably about 8 litres in there, which is about right.
The engine was completely full of oil and it was completely clean, so I'm very confident that the engine is perfectly fine. But now we're not going to waste any time, and we just need to get absolutely everything stripped off of this car. So you can see I'm starting to take the interior out, and then I'm just disconnecting all of the rear subframe and suspension. And I need to do the same thing on the front and getting all of the arch liners out of the way as well. The plan is to loosen the full front subframe, the full rear subframe, and drop it all onto axle stands, and then lift the car up away from the full front and rear subframe with the engine on it and everything.
So it's the next day now. We've got the front panel removed. I just need to take off this suspension corner and disconnect all the coolant lines around this area, and then I just need to take the subframe bolts out and the engine should drop out. And then all that's left to do after that is take off the doors, take out the dash and the dash frame, and then also the rear suspension, but I've already disconnected everything on the rear, so that's just ready to pop out.
So Joe, how would you think this experience has went with this M4?
Awful.
Would you do it again?
No, I don't want to do this again.
No.
No. Not in the snow and cold.
So James is going to remove the dashboard right now. He's just feeding the plug through, the dashboard is loose.
I think we've got one more screw over there.
The last screw holding the... Whilst he's been doing that, James has currently been removing all the wiring loom. Cool. Is he strong enough? There he is, big lad.
Now we're just working away at getting everything else that's left on the car removed. So there's a lot of wires to be removed, and the headliner. The wiring loom is very tedious to remove because obviously you don't want to damage it as you're removing it. But now we're just lifting the car straight up away from the engine, and you can see once it's up in the air, the engine, subframe and rear subframe and everything is just sat on the floor. This is a bit different to what I normally post because we're not actually fixing anything in this video, we're just taking a car apart. So let me know what you think of this video down in the comments, and while I've got your attention, make sure you go subscribe because a lot of you who watch the videos aren't subscribed. You can see that we split the engine and gearbox away from the front subframe, and then we're getting the engine and the gearbox loaded straight into the van. We actually managed to fit the entire car into the back of the one van. We got every single part from the car in one trip. Well, everything excluding the carbon roof and parts of the chassis and stuff, but that doesn't really count. But you can see we got the full wiring loom out of the car. This is a completely undamaged wiring loom, and this is how the car was left, absolutely bare. There's nothing left other than just plastic intake guides.
The engine and gearbox I'm going to split apart right now. I've took apart the main bolt, and then down here we have the starter motor, and there's some bolts hidden behind the starter motor. So I just need to get the starter motor out of the way. That will reveal the last few bolts.
There's a lot of bolts which hold the torque converter to the engine, so you can just spin this by hand and undo those bolts as it turns around.
So we're back in the garage now, and I've transported all the parts from the M4 breaker here, and it's actually a few weeks, or even a month since we stripped the car. My initial plan with the M4 breaker was to reshell it into a 4 Series, and I could have like a 420i on paper, but really it's an M4 with an S58 engine. But I thought, it's the exact same thing as what I did with the M4, so really, is it worth it? And then I also couldn't get the car running at the breaker's yard, so I think it needs a new ECU, which is another £2,000. So I thought, what I'm gonna do is the next video on the M5 you're gonna see is I'm gonna try to assemble the entire car in 24 hours by myself. I think that's going to be a pretty good 24-hour challenge. I might be being very, very optimistic, but I think I could probably do it, like if I just actually stay in here for 24 hours non-stop. So you can see I've been working away, stripping the whole car. The dash frame, I've removed it all in one, you can see. I'm just leaving it in there so it doesn't get damaged. Center console's all out, and I did also remove the entire engine and drivetrain. I haven't made a video, obviously, stripping the car because I think it's just a bit boring. Like, you've already seen it with the M4, so I don't know, I just thought it'd be a bit boring. So yeah, that is the update with the M5. I'm trying to make a move on it as quickly as I possibly can. Now, that's enough on the M5. We do have a few other projects. Obviously the X4M, I've just recently uploaded on it. I've made a lot of progress on the X4M. It's actually almost complete. So the next video next week will probably be on the X4M. I do also have another car here. If you can recognize what it is from this, you might have seen it in the background of the video already. That's going to be another car that we're going to have another video on. And I do have 2 more cars outside, which I'll show you now. We're going to have 2 more videos on those ones coming as well. So this Mercedes A-Class here, I actually just picked it up from YS Claims in Birmingham. You might have seen on TikTok, I've worked with them previously. This was a car I actually bought from Copart about 2 years ago. I sold it to a girl that I know, and she actually got in an accident in it. They went through that management claims company, and then I've bought it back, and now we're going to repair it. It's just a cheap little flip. I think it'll make a good little video. And then also this Passat I bought from Copart for about 350 quid. It needs a water pump on it and stuff. So it's kind of just been sitting because I've been so busy, haven't had the time to do it. But I think probably also going to make a video on that, or I might just chuck it in the video with that one. But yeah, that's a couple other little projects that we've got going on. So the M4 breaker before fees was £8,300. But with a Cat B breaker, you get 20% VAT. Obviously that's a stinger. I can't even claim that back because it's through the breaker's yard. So after all the fees, it was £10,800. And the delivery was also about 600 quid. So that takes it up to about £12,000. That is pretty much gonna be it for this video. We're probably gonna be a few more weeks until you see the video on the M5 because I need to get the rest of this stripped, but like a massive job. So maybe have a little bit more patience on that one, but we do have loads more videos coming. The other car, which I'll just give you the sneak peek on, the X4M next week, and the other cars outside, and I do have another car that I'm making a video on that you don't have any idea about. So I've been working hard away just on loads of different projects simultaneously as well. I've just been doing an ambient lighting business. You might have seen on my social media, ambient lighting, starlights, all that sort of stuff. It's been really hard to try and juggle everything. That's why I've been kind of quiet on the videos for the past few weeks, but I'm gonna try to lock back in on making the YouTube videos now. So hopefully every Thursday again, we're gonna be uploading. Sorry that I've been a little bit quiet, just been having loads of different things going on. But yeah, I'll see you next week on Thursday. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel as well, because a lot of you watch the videos and you don't subscribe. Right, that's it. So I'll see you next week on Thursday with the X4M.